heard somewhere, I don't know how true lah. They say like in big companies, right, the average time a recruiter looks at a CV, right, is like 7-8 seconds.
I think 7 seconds is a bit too short, I feel.
What do you think is the greatest mistake, right, that people make when they come for an interview?
Number one, definitely not enough research about the company. Then number two, not enough knowledge about the role they're applying for. Like if you don't know what you're applying for, then you're not able to sell yourself properly.
What would be the number one piece of advice you would give to youth today who are transitioning into the workforce? Internships. I tell you nowadays, I'm sure you know lah.
Yes.
Nowadays, every single gap that university students have, they take internship.
Yes.
A lot of students, right, even take off-cycle internship whereby they work and study at the same time. I even have students that studying, right, and do 2 internships at the same time.
Oh, that one is intense.
It's crazy lah. How important are internships to securing a good job?
I think it is quite important actually because you see, if I don't have any internship, then at the screening process, when I'm compared against those who have had more than 3 internships, for example, then it's very hard for us to then decide why are you better than the other person, correct? So I guess in a way, to be very frank, I think internships are really important. But it doesn't mean that you have to do like 10 internships, right? Because it's very challenging. What I feel is at least have like 2, 3. I mean, I did 2 internships back in my time. I think 2 or 3 that is sufficient to show that you have had working experiences. And I think internships are also important for you, not just in terms of job application, but it's also for you to understand what are you interested in. So I think that's the important part. And being an intern, I think we mentioned earlier about company culture. You wouldn't know whether you like a company culture until you are actually there or you hear from people, correct? So a few ways to understand how a company culture is like the social media pages. But that might be curated, right, depending on how you perceive. And then the second one is hearing from multiple people on their experiences in the company. And then the third one will be through internship. When you have been there, it's like been there, done that. So you exactly know what the company is like. And it might be even better for you because if you get converted, then you even know what's the team culture.
That's true. Glassdoor accurate, right? Glassdoor.
I personally feel that human nature is that you only feedback when you don't like something.
When you're angry lah.
When you're angry lah. So that's my own personal take lah. Like I mean, I've seen a lot of feedback surveys from airlines, from wherever, right? But I don't actually fill them up because which is a good reminder. I should start giving compliments also lah. But I think in general, human nature is that they only share comments and opinions when they feel strongly for it, and most of the time it swings in the other direction.
Angry lah, when they're angry lah.
Correct. So that's what I feel towards maybe platforms like that where it gives opportunity for people to voice their dissatisfaction.
That's true lah. Okay, so for sake of argument, right, 2 people apply for the same job, right? The first person results not say very good, average, but got like 2-3 internships. Second person is a stellar academic student, first class honors, award here, award there, everything lah, valedictorian. But for some reason, no internship experience. Will y'all even consider this person with stellar grades and academic achievements, but no internship?
Okay, for that one, right, firstly, I will look at it and be like, oh, this person is academically very strong, correct? Then what has this person been doing in his free time?
Studying.
But it's like in between semesters, maybe 3 months. Then I'll look at it in the way where, does this person have any like curriculum activities, students club, leadership competitions or things like that, right? So I'll look at those aspects and I might be curious enough to give this person a call. Like, actually, you have quite a bit of involvement here and there. Then why didn't you have time for internship, or why didn't you decide to take on an internship? Correct. So I understand the motive behind this person, because if this person is so academically strong, then there must be a reason why this person is choosing to do other things using this time, right, than taking on an internship. But it might be because maybe students club involvement and things like that. And I will look at it holistically. Like, for example, there's no internship, but are there any leadership experiences in his students' activities? Correct. If there are, then this is also a plus point.
What if this person tells you, right, that, the reason why I have not done an internship is because I need to take care of my terminally ill mother during the holidays. I mean, there are people like that out there.
Yes,
for real.
correct.
Is this something that you all will consider, like this kind of mitigating factors?
We will, for sure. I think we will understand the person's situation. And also through the phone call, I also try to suss out whether this person is a fit for the role or the company or not. And also, what is this person's plan moving forward? Yeah.
Fair. Okay, fair enough. Good to know lah. Good to know that everyone gets a chance, right? But I'm very curious. How did you get to this point? Because during my time, right, there was no such thing as internship one. Like every time holiday we go and play only. You know, then in the end we still get a job and everything. Like I don't get how it became like that. Do you have any idea? I mean, you've been in this industry for a while. Do you have any idea how it became like that?
I'm also very curious that people are so actively searching for internship during their... Okay, I feel that the contributing factor could be also influenced by your peers.
Okay,
correct.
Yeah, sure.
And then now, for example, a lot of companies are more flexible when it comes to internship opportunities. Yeah. We are also offering part-time internships, etc., to students. So I think all of this flexibility is contributing to a higher internship take-up rate lah. Yeah. Like if let's say a company does not offer part-time internship, then I cannot be doing part-time internship during my semester, so I cannot work and study. Yeah. Right. And then off-cycle wise, I think it also depends on the courses. I do know some of the courses, they offer credit-bearing internship. Yeah. So this is like a, it's kind of value-adding proposal, right? You get your credits, you get to work. Yeah. So to me, I feel that such proposals and such collaborations with the schools kind of contributed to this trend that we observed. Yeah, and I think there's a term for it. I mean, it's a Chinese term, but I think we call it like Jian.
Yeah,
correct?
Jian,
so effectively, we see other people doing it and we feel like, we also need to probably match up to the level, and eventually this became the norm.
Yeah, but I look at them, I feel very sad for them sometimes. It's like they're really walking zombies.
Maybe they feel happy working.
They don't. They are walking zombies. A lot of them take internships because like you say, their peers are doing. That's why they're doing. It's like they feel like they need to do it just to not lose out. It's not even to get ahead anymore. It's like stay afloat. Very poor thing sometimes.
I think need to know what is your priority. Like if you cannot manage your time, then I would strongly disagree or discourage you from doing that. I think what's important is your own energy. It'll be quite tiring if you are burnt out even before you start working, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, so hopefully they understand how to manage these kind of things also. Because there's no point just going full blast, right? Then everyone start burn out already.
Yeah, correct. And also, if let's say you don't have enough energy and enough time, then you're not able to make an impact anywhere. So you cannot make an impact in your internship, cannot make an impact in your work. Then you are kind of not value adding to your experiences anymore lah.
That's true. Yeah. The next question, right, is a bit sensitive. If you cannot answer, honestly, never mind. We can cut.
Okay.
But recommendations, getting in through the side door or the back door, right? Do these things still happen, right? Do you get recommended by someone and then this person just fast track, get a job in that kind of thing?
Okay. I think referrals is definitely something that we observe in the corporate workplaces, right? Recommendations is one, referrals is one. Frequency depends on the company, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Even if you have referrals or recommendations, effectively it might, pass over the screening phase, right? Like I might be receiving the CV and like, okay, please arrange an interview with this person and whatnot, right? But truth be told, it still depends on the particular individual. If this individual is really a red flag, then I believe we will make a proper decision.
Okay. Yeah. So professionally, you will still flag it if you feel like there's issues and everything .
Yes, correct.
Okay, but I mean referrals. Okay, maybe not personal recommendations, but maybe referrals, right? Do most job requirements nowadays, right, during the application phase, right, do they actually ask for references?
Reference. I think not a lot. I don't see a lot nowadays actually.
Okay, I think government sector more lah.
I think more government sector. In fact, I think a few of my ex-colleagues have asked me whether I can be their reference check point of contact, right? And I said yes to all, but I barely received any calls.
Oh, is it? I always receive one.
Really? I never received that. So I think maybe it might still be there, but I don't know if anyone actually act on it. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay, maybe private sector not so much, but government sector confirm. Every time I always gonna call.
That is government, public sector. Okay. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, quite interesting. Sorry, I didn't know that private sector a lot less. That's really quite interesting. Okay, tell me what do you think is the greatest mistake, right? That people make when they come for interview?
Okay. Number one, definitely not enough research about the company.
Oh, okay.
Then number two, not enough knowledge about the role they're applying for. Yeah, I think these two are the greatest mistakes.
Okay. Are things like punctuality, courtesy, these kind of things important for interview?
It is very important. In fact, the first impression is so important that you need to make sure that the first few seconds you meet the interviewer, you strike a positive first impression. Because it stays. I think it's not just interview. Even when you're making friends and whatnot, right? It's like the first impression makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, exactly right. So like simple things like even like greeting the receptionist and like thanking the receptionist. Because I know there are some people, right? They are very polite to the interviewer, but they are very rude to the receptionist.
Then I think this is true nature, right?
Yeah, that's jialat one of this kind. Then there are some people. Last time I used to work in the corporate sector, right? I was interviewing someone, right? The person come half an hour late.
That's so late.
That person never even apologized. The person just literally came. No, really. I told the person straight. I said, you can go home already. Seriously. Then my boss was like, hey, hello. I also interviewing him.
No, but I think that's a very bad move, lah. Yeah, it's very important to. Okay, I guess back to the mistakes, right? Like, why it's important to know about the company? Because you need to know exactly the company you're interviewing for. Why are you even motivated to apply there? That's definitely a question that will come out. Like, why do you want to apply to this company? And then you need to answer it in a way that's relevant and specific to the company. You cannot have a one answer fits all kind of answer in this particular question.
Exactly.
And then the second one regarding the knowledge about the role, right? Like, if you don't know what you're applying for, then you're not able to sell yourself properly.
Yeah, that's true.
So you need to know what skill sets and what job scope this role is about, right? In order to make sure that you market yourself properly in the interview. That's what it's all about. Yeah, and then I think like you mentioned, punctuality, positive attitude, all of these are very important soft traits that interviewer will look at.
Have you ever rejected people, right, but they still drop you an email thanking you?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think in this scenario or after interviewing, then receive a thank you email for my time.
Yeah, that's good lah. I think that's very good practice to do also. It's like it only takes 1 minute of your time, but it makes such a good impression. On
that
the
is true.
person.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean these are all little things that I hope you can share with them, right? And then they can do it, right? Okay, let's go through some classic interview questions, right? I think it's very important because a lot of companies, of course, they ask very contextually specific questions, but at the same time there are a few classic questions that people always ask. I want to know your thoughts on what you think these questions are looking for and how people can answer them.
Okay.
So the first one is, tell me about yourself, right? I kid you not. So there are a few times that I'm interviewing people for like graduate studies, right? They're applying for like scholarship and something. I say, tell me about yourself, right? The person goes on a 20-minute chronological account of like from 10 years old until now. I swear, 20 minutes, and then we all sit there, we just
and you cannot cut the person off, right?
We don't want to cut. We just wait, Then after 20 minutes, okay, enough video. Yeah. So how should a person approach this question? It's so generic. How should they do it?
Okay, I feel that for this question, okay, usually if I ask a candidate like, oh, give me a quick introduction of yourself, tell me about yourself, what I'm looking for is like a recap, okay, I emphasize recap of your, like maybe internship experiences, your school experiences, your hobby, your aspirations, etc. So don't need to prepare like a 20 minutes long introduction, but really just focus on, I'm a year 3 NUS business student, I'm looking for, I'm applying for this internship, my past experiences would be like A and B and C, maybe recruiter in this, HR operations in another company, and then what do I do, what do I like, and things like that. So try to keep it short, concise. The main thing is just to introduce yourself and, basically what you're interested in and what skill sets you have.
Is it even better that they connect all these things, right? So is it better if they draw a line through these things, right? So what you mentioned just now is in a way it could be construed as listing things, right? Say, these are my experiences, these are my internships, these are my aspirations. But if someone can combine these things, right? Like say that, these are my aspirations, therefore I did internships to achieve this, and then now I'm at this point. Is that something that is more impressive?
That is for sure. The fact that you are able to recognize what you are looking for at such a young age, I assume, and then making extra effort towards that goal. So I think that point in itself is very impressive already.
Yeah, exactly. So you recommend, like you say, a very short introduction, like maybe 1-2 minutes at most.
We can be beyond that. Maybe 5 minutes would be okay.
You let someone talk for 5 minutes straight?
I let someone talk for like 30 minutes straight.
Really? You're so nice.
Yeah.
Wow, 5 minutes, I really very sian already.
I think it's okay if the person share more information that's outside of the CV. Yeah, perhaps like a very quick, for each of the experiences. I mean, if the person had like 2-3 internship experiences, each part will probably take about 1-2 minutes or so. Yeah, so I think that's understandable. But I think main thing is to share what is outside of the CV lah. Because if the person is going to read through the CV, then there's no point because I would have read through the CV myself before, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It would be even better if, let's say, the person is able to answer some of the questions I have when I read the CV. Yeah, so it will be in a way like, oh, okay, you're actually filling me in on the information that I would have wanted to ask you.
I see. So it's more of like you are trying to dig deeper into the CV. Okay. Sounds fair. The next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years, right? You know, they always talk about the future and everything. Yeah. What kind of question is, what is it looking for?
To be honest, I think talking to fresh grad about it's really just to test them and see whether they are thinking about a future or not. Are they just lost and trying their luck with this role and that role, correct? So I think in a way, candidates should just try to answer in a way where, the path that they see themselves on. Are they going down the HR route? Are they going down maybe another route? If I'm doing a recruitment role, then in 5 years' time, what do I foresee myself doing? Do I still do campus recruitment, or maybe I will have advanced or changed my path to do experience recruitment, So what's important is, where would I be? Would I still be in HR, or would I be a totally unrelated industry? But I think in general right now, things are so fast-paced, right? There are a lot of companies, they may not even ask for 5 years anymore. Yeah. They could be asking for like 1 year, 2 years and things like that. So things change a lot in the short term and in the long term. So I would also strongly recommend for students to prepare your answers accordingly. Could be in 1 year, could be in 2 years, could be in 5 years. Have a clear roadmap on, your path and where do you think you might be on. Doesn't have to be very concrete, like, I'm going to be like a manager, I'm going to be like a team lead and whatnot. Maybe not so.
General area and function, aspirational also lah.
Yes, correct. Okay. Yeah, more on that lah. I think this part is really more about understanding whether this candidate has ambition and what is this candidate's aspirations.
But what if, there are people out there who are not ambitious. They just say, I want to work this job, then I want to do it well, and then like that's it. So what if someone answers like that? How will you all assess that kind of answer?
I think in a way, it's not that this answer is lacking. Yeah. Correct? Because we don't need someone to be super motivated and ambitious. Yeah. But I think what I would do then is probe a little bit further. Okay, if you don't need to know where you are at 5 years' time, then what about 1 year? What about when you start work? What is your expectations of your role as a fresh grad here in the company? Correct? So I would then go nearer in the short term to understand what is this person's motivation. Yeah, if this person is not even motivated to be in the company, then there might be a culture fit issue.
I see. Okay, maybe I'm talking more generally about, there are some people out there, right, who say they want to work and they do their job well. It's not like they don't. But they have not much aspiration for growth. So some people will say, I want to become a manager, I want to become a leader, a team leader, I want to grow this, I want to grow that. Some people will just say, I just want to stick to my role, I just want to do it well, but I don't mind doing it for 5 years, 10 years, So where do you see yourself in 5 years? In the same role, but doing it better, that kind. Are these kinds of candidates also hireable, or should all candidates have some kind of growth mindset?
Okay. This is a very interesting question because I think this is less of an interview question, more of like a performance management kind of review question.
Sure.
Yeah, that's my take. Yeah. So firstly, from interview perspective, right, if this person's skill set is a fit, culture is a fit, hiring managers are happy with the candidate, then for sure recruitment, that's not an issue, correct? But in terms of like sustainability or longevity of this person in the role, I don't think it's an issue if this is what the person wants. Correct. Unless you tell me the company has a strict policy that you have to rotate after 3 years, 5 years, then of course that might be an issue. Correct. But if not, then there's no hard and fast rule that says that you have to progress.
I see.
I think a company is made up of people of different varying interests and ambition, right? We can't have everyone want to be like, I want to progress, I want to get promoted, I want to do this, I want to do that, and things like that. So in a way, I think there will be people going after different interests. It's not an issue if the company structure allows for it.
Yeah, fair enough. So last question, right, which is very interesting, right? So normally after the end of the interview, you say, what questions do you have for us, right? Has anyone ever said, when do I start?
No.
Yeah, no, right?
Yeah, most of the time is, when can I hear back?
Okay. I thought some people they're very confident. When do I start? So, what are some of the questions that you would hear? Right? Are there any questions that you would hear and you would feel like, wow, this is quite impressive? Like, what does it tell about a candidate?
I haven't really had any questions that really stuck to me. Like, wow, this is really a very good question. Yeah. But I appreciate questions that are team specific. So I really appreciate those questions that ask about like team culture, team dynamics, the team size, team portfolio, etc. Because I think those are the candidates that really want to understand deeper in terms of like the role, the team, and the environment. And I also appreciate questions that are relating to my own experiences. Because this will actually show that the candidate made an effort to study me and understand my experiences. So when candidates actually ask me questions like, oh, how do you pivot from like recruitment to where you are now and things like that, then I will be able to share my experiences, be able to share my motivations. And then from there, the candidate is also able to understand me a bit more as a maybe reporting manager, etc. Right? So I guess I appreciate questions in these two different domains.
Yeah, I think from what you said, the human dimension is super important. It's really, an interview is really a conversation between people. And when you make the effort to make your conversation as contextually specific as possible, right? Then people get impressed. Because 9 out of 10 people will say the usual answer, right?
Yeah.
The boilerplate answer. So I think if you're that one person that really shows that you understand the context, I think that's really, really quite important.
Yeah. But I think, like I said earlier, it's a two-way communication, right? And also you want to make sure that you understand the role and the team culture before you actually dive deep into the environment. Yeah, so it's very important to then take this interview chance to understand the person. I always tell the candidates that it's not just a one-way interview, right? We interview your fit, but you're also assessing us as an employer. Are we to your expectations? Are we a company you want to stay for a substantial amount of time? Correct? So it's important to then have that in your mindset when you go for the interview. Yeah.
If interviewees ask you questions like, what's the remuneration like, what's the leave like, the usual stuff, right? At this stage, right, do you count it as inappropriate or how do you assess this?
I think candidates would have been curious about it, right? But I think it's not really inappropriate, but it's premature. Yeah, so I'm not able to share with them either way. So I just tell them politely that I'm so sorry, cannot share at this juncture, correct? But if that's the only question they ask and then they don't sound that keen in the role or in the team scope or environment, then I might take it as, is this person more interested in salary than in the scope? So if, let's say, we don't pay the person according to the expected salary, doesn't mean that he won't choose us as an employer. So I think it comes across as that manner. But of course, it may not mean that this person has this intention.
In terms of flexibility for fresh hires, right? Is there any flexibility? I mean, for experienced hires, confirm got flexibility, I know, but fresh hires, is there a lot of flexibility in terms of like salary?
I think not really.
Not really, right? From what I know,
Most of the company, I think they have pretty fixed starting pay for associates.
Like maybe very small range .
Maybe. But if let's say the same scope, the same role, usually I think it's about the same pay also.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty fixed.
Okay. So maybe we need to learn some negotiation skills. So thank you so much for your time today, right? What would be the number one piece of advice you would give to youth today who are transitioning into the workforce?
Okay. I would say don't be scared. Feel empowered to raise your opinions. The main reason why we are open or why we want fresh blood is also to have different perspectives and new perspectives. So we want to hear from the new hires. So we want to make sure that you don't feel scared to raise your opinion. I think that's one. So just make sure that you are able to have your voice be heard. Then number two is also be careful of burnout. I think it's very important to make sure that you manage your time and energy well. Well means efficiently, effectively, and in a way you're comfortable with. So I think that's very important because I think there's different extremes, right? We might see different fresh grads going to work and feeling like, they need to answer to everything. They need to work over the weekends and things like that. You don't have to do that. So just be open, be transparent, talk to your reporting manager. Just take care of yourself. I think what's important is the reminder that you are the most important thing. But I think
at the same time, I also want to remind everyone that doesn't mean you be entitled.
Yes, of course,
I think it's very important. It's actually quite a fine balance to strike. You have to take care of yourself, but you have to understand that you are now part of a team also, and you are working for an organization, and that the world doesn't revolve around you. I think that's very important.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below if you have any more comments or questions for Vivian. Take care.